Hello everyone and welcome back. I am Deshan Bandara and in our last session we mastered the user sign-up process, building a robust and validate front door for our e-shop. Today we are building the mechanism that opens that door, the user sign-in process, and it is crucial validation. This is task 3 in our web programming series and it is a critical leap in user experience and security. Think of the sign-in page as the primary point of access. It must be quick, intuitive, and secure. Take a look at the design. We have maintained and clean, inviting aesthetic of our eShop. The focus here is simplicity. Email, password, and the Remember Me feature a tiny checkbox that makes a huge difference in user satisfaction. This is the user interface, the front-end design that we need to bring to life with clean and secure code. As software developers, we don't just build forms, we build security gates. When a user attempts to sign in, our system must be validated that the input fields are not empty. Authenticate that the provided credential match a registered user in our database and manage session, keeping the user logged in if they choose and gracefully handling errors if the authentication fails. Every element on this page, from the input fields to the forget password link, is designed to be a part of this secure user-centric flow. Now let us open up the blueprint and see how the index.php file constructs this experience. This is our sign-in logic is housed within the index.php file inside a container with the ID sign box. Notice the initial attribute the none. This is a bootstrap class that means the sign-in box is hidden by default and our JavaScript is responsible for toggling its visibility with the sign up box. Just like in our sign up form, the first critical element is our feedback mechanism, the div with the ID message div1. Just like in our sign-in form, the first critical element is our feedback mechanism, the div with the ID message div1. It's hidden. It is uses a bootstrap alert to display messages. When a user tries to sign in with incorrect details, our backend will send an error message which our JavaScript will inject into ID message 1 and then make this entire container visible. Clear feedback is paramount. Next we have a crucial block of PHP code that runs before the HTML inputs are rendered. This is where we handle Remember Me feature. This code check if the user has an existing email or password cookie. If those cookies exist, it pulls the value and store them in PHP variables. This seamlessly retrieves the user's last login information, enhancing the user experience. We then render our primary input fields. Look closely at how those PHP variables are used. By setting the value attribute of these input PHP echo $email and PHP echo $password, we automatically pre-fill and fields if the cookies were found. If the user previously checked Remember Me, they don't have to type their details again. Note the IDs, email to, and password are unique identifiers our JavaScript will use to grab the user's input. The next section gives control to the user. The Remember Me checkbox allows the user to opt into the cookies functionality we just discussed. The forget password link doesn't navigate away but instead call a JavaScript function forget password, which would likely trigger a model or redirect to password reset flow. We are keeping everything dynamic and responsive. Finally, the two core action buttons that drive the entire system. The sign in button is the gateway. When clicked, it calls the sign-in JavaScript function. This function will collect the email, password, and the state of the Remember Me checkbox and send it all securely to our server for authentication and session creation. And the new to eShop sign up button simply calls the change view function again, smoothly switching the user back to the sign up box without a page refresh. And that is the complete front-end blueprint for a highly functional and user-friendly sign-in form. We have covered HTML structure, bootstrap styling, dynamic PHP for cookies, and the essential JavaScript to handle validation and submission. Next, we will look at into the JavaScript and sign-in process to complete the authentication and session management. Let's dive right into the core of our script, the sign-in function. This function is triggered by sign-in button and it performs three key actions: collecting data, packing it, and send it to the server for authentication. First, we retrieve the values from HTML fields using their unique IDs. We are interested in three pieces of data: the email, password, and the state of Remember Me checkbox. Notice how we grab the checkbox state with check. This sends a simple true or false value to the server, which is all we need. We then package all three pieces of data neatly into a form data object ready for transmission. Notice how we grab the checkbox state with check. This sends a simple true or false value to the server, which is all we need. We then package all three pieces of data neatly into a form data object and ready for transmission. The next step is to create our communication channel using AJAX or asynchronous JavaScript and XML. This is the technology that allows us to talk to the server in the background. We initialize a new XML HTTP request object. We use the open method to configure our request. It is a post request. The data is going to the our sign-in process.php file, and true means it is asynchronous, it won't freeze the user's browser, and finally send a file of the data package we just created. This is arguably the most important part: what happens when the server replies. This is handled by the already state change event handler. We only proceed if ready state is 4. That means the operation is complete, and status is 200. That means the HTTP request was successfully. We then analyze the response sent back from the server, and our script acts based on the server's message. If the server sends back the simple string success, that means the credentials were correct and the session was created. We immediately redirect the user to home.php file. The user is login. If the response is anything else, for example, invalid credentials or user is blocked, that message is read as an error. We inject the server's error message into our feedback view and change the parent containers class to bblock, making the red error box appear right on the form. This is clean, immediate error reporting. So the sign-in function in our JavaScript is the unsung hero of the sign-in experience. It collects, communicates, and provides instant feedback, ensuring the user has a smooth, non-destructive pathway into our application. This clean client-side logic is the foundation of modern web development. And next we will talk about the process by implementing the backend authentication sign-in process.php. Every single pieces of data from the user's browser must be validated and authenticated here. This is non-negotiable for a secure web application. The first few lines of our script perform vital setup and data retrieval. We start with session start. This is the key to maintaining a user's login status across multiple pages. It creates a temporary storage area on the server to keep track of the user. We also include our database connection. Next, we safely retrieve the user's input sent via the HTTP post method from our AJAX request. Notice the simple variable names $email and $password. And next video I will talk about the state of the remember me checkbox process. Following retrieval, we immediately perform server-side validation. Even though JavaScript does a basic check, the server must always validate again. If either field is empty, we echo the specific error message and the process is stopped. The message is then instantly displayed to the user by our JavaScript. If the fields are present, we proceed to the core logic of the database authentication. We execute a select query on our user table. We are asking the database, is there exactly one user whose email and password matches the credential provided. The result set is stored in rs and we check the number of matching rows in $n. If the database finds a match, $n will be equal 1 and the user is authenticated. The first thing we do is echo success. Our JavaScript hears this and knows to redirect the user to home.php. This confirms the login to the client side. This confirms the login to the client side. Next, we create the user session. We fetch the user's data record into an array $D and they store that entire array in a super global session variable. That's done. This is the most crucial step for the duration of their session. The user's data like their name, ID and status is now available on every single pages of the website proving they are logged in. If the credential don't match, $sign will be 0. In this case, we send back a generic but informative error, invalid email or password. We deliberately use a generic message for security. We don't tell the user if the email was wrong or if only the password was wrong, preventing hackers from guessing one piece of information at a time. Now let's see how sign-in page I created work. So first we will show, now let's see how the sign-in page I created works. So first I will show you how a new user can come to this eShop, register and correctly log in into a home page. And firstly I will register a user. Registration successful, and I will go to the sign in page. Here when I first leave the email and password fields blank and click the sign in button, an error message appear like this: please enter your email. After that, when I fill the email and leave only password field blank and click the sign in button, an error message like this appear: please enter your password. I will fill the password field. Then when I fill the email and password fields incorrectly and click the sign in button, an error message like this appear: invalid email or password. Finally, when I fill the email and password fields correctly and click the sign in button, you will be see connected to the home page like this. This is the sign in page work in process. Thank you for joining me, and we will meet in our next video.